Thank you very much indeed. This is the last lap. It's getting noisier and noisier outside, so if at any stage you can hear me at the back, then please gesticulate, and let me know. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of HSBC, I'd firstly like to congratulate BIP and the other organisers of today's event on both its quality and on the success in drawing busy business people to it. I'm very conscious that for any business in today's environment, devoting even part of a day to a completely new event like this isn't something that will be done lightly. And I'm equally sure that for many of you, the key draw wasn't just the chance to listen to a man from a bank. So to assist you in planning whether to spend the next 20 minutes here with us, or to, I'll tell you a bit upfront about what I'm planning to cover. So I'll talk a little bit about why we're investing in Scotland and why we believe in Scotland. And actually I'll also talk about why you might care about that, the kind of business we're trying to build here, and why we're trying to build that kind of business here, how we're getting on and why that's happening, what we plan to do next in Scotland and where we plan to do it, and finally close with two invitations. The first of which is a live opportunity for great thinking Scottish businesses to move their plans forward and access a funding prize worth more than £100,000. And for those of you who have had the invidious choice of choosing between Derek Gillies' session right now on the practical benefits of invoice finance and this session, I can reassure you that Derek is doing his session again this afternoon. So firstly then, why HSBC and Scotland? The question itself makes it sound a bit like HSBC and Scotland are somehow very new to each other, and in fact nothing could be further from the truth. We've been a major employer, HSBC has been a major employer here in Scotland for quite some time. Today we employ more than 3,000 people across a wide variety of site and specialisms, from high-value contact centres to high-value IT roles, and a very thriving, very healthy asset servicing business that's part of a very thriving sector here within Scotland. And we serve customers in numerous locations around the world, as well as around the rest of the UK from here in Scotland. Our continued growth and our continued investment here in these diverse activities reflects our experience that as a base for key parts of our business, Scotland continues to represent a great combination of value and quality. And we can actually trace the roots of HSBC right back to Scotland and to a Scotsman. Sir Thomas Sutherland, alumnus of Aberdeen University, and during his time as General Manager of P&O in Asia, the prime mover behind the creation of Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank. Sir Thomas Sutherland exemplifies, for me certainly, the internationally minded spirit of enterprise that, as many of our speakers this morning have touched on, will be vitally important to Scotland's progress through the next decade. He saw the need for a bank to finance the growing volumes of trade between the economies of South Asia, and he acted on that insight. And those strong Scottish connections within HSBC have endured through 146 years. We are by any measure a highly diverse and a highly diversified organisation, with more than 300,000 employees spanning an international network of 8,000 offices in 87 countries. However, our senior management continues to have a strikingly high proportion of Scots. Our Group Chairman, Douglas Flint, is a Glasgow-trained accountant. The Chairman of our business in Europe, the Middle East and Africa, Sandy Flockhart, is an Edinburgh-trained law graduate. Our new Group FD, Ian Mackay, is a graduate of Aberdeen University. And our Global Head of Commercial Banking, Alan Keir, hails from Kirkintilloch, although he did choose to pursue his university career outside of Scotland. So very strong Scottish roots, a massive commitment to Scotland as a base, but a much smaller number of customers here than we would like to have. And we're very clear that this is the best chance that HSBC will have to grow in Scotland. And we're absolutely committed to not just sustaining but accelerating our growth. But none of this is born of a sense of sentimental attachment in any way, shape or form. We run important parts of our business here because we know it's a great place to operate from. And our commitment to growing our customer base here is because we absolutely believe in Scotland's businesses, in Scotland's business community and in Scotland's business people, and in their continuing ability to make an impact globally as well as locally. So as to why you should care about that, well, with the local heritage that I described and our focused commitment to winning business here in Scotland, I'd like to think you could see us as a 145-year-old, as a fresh-faced 145-year-old. Secondly, we represent competition at a time when competition is needed in the Scottish banking market. We believe that competition is healthy. Our growth to date and our route to continued growth in the future is winning customers one by one, place by place, day by day. And that absolutely requires us to compete and to compete vigorously. And touching on a theme that Lena raised, we haven't survived and grown through those 146 years without understanding the importance of a strong organisational culture, of a clear strategy and of a long-term commitment to customers and to the markets in which we operate. And again, touching on the theme of relationships, we think about, talk about and we measure our business as a set of customer relationships rather than, say, the next deal or the next transaction. As Graham kindly pointed out just now, whilst not completely immunised from the challenges that our sector has faced in recent years, we've come through it in substantially better shape than many, without any direct support from any government anywhere in the world, and having generated capital quarter on quarter every quarter. We've maintained a commitment to both capital strength and to high levels of liquidity, and I'm regularly struck by the surprised responses that greet the clarification that it remains our way of doing business to raise the deposits first and lend the money second. For every £100 of lending, for every £100 of deposits we have anywhere in the world today, we only have £80 worth of lending. We absolutely commit to raising the money first and lending the money second. And lastly, I think the reason you should care about our ambition here and our presence here is because we are uniquely well placed to support those Scottish businesses that are internationally minded.